Right. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, depending on where you're from. It is Ross. I'm going to be talking about phase cancellation. Um, since it's one of the most fundamentally misunderstood parts of mixing, or just audio engineering in general, this is completely unscripted, so I have no idea where we're going to go with this, but we will get through it. So, first thing to understand about phase cancellation is that when two sine waves are completely out of phase, they are of opposite amplitudes. The peaks and the troughs of those sine waves are of opposite amplitudes. So let's imagine this on a graph, and I'll draw a sine wave on Desmos so that you guys can see it. But if we look at the top of the sine wave and the bottom of the sine wave, let's say on the top of the sine wave we have f of sine x equals 4, and then on the second sine wave f of sine x is minus 4. So what is 4 minus 4? Oh, that's 0. So what happens? You get a total net decibel volume of 0. Pretty simple maths. And f of sine x literally just means sine wave, for the record. So basically what we can take from this is that if they're two sine waves and they are of opposite amplitudes, they will cancel each other out. Just to consolidate that. So this is important because if we have two sources and they are delaying to the point where they are slightly out of phase with each other, they will slightly reduce in volume. It's highly unlikely that if you have two signals, say a microphone on a cabinet and a microphone on the other side of the cabinet, let's just say, that two frequencies will completely cancel each other out. It's just really unlikely. However, there might be certain frequencies which are slightly out of phase with other frequencies, and they will then slightly cancel each other out, and that will be not a full reduction, but let's say if it was f of sine x is 3 and f of sine x is 0.3, then it will be 3 minus 0.3, so you'll get 0.3 decibels off, kind of. So let's get into an actual physical example with two cabs on a guitar. If we just have this guitar and if we listen, if we just kind of play it. Sorry for the shit riff, by the way, it's quite shit. I'm going to put it out of phase. Wow. Lots of stuff cancelling out. Tons of high end gone, tons of mid end gone, all of the clarity just removed. Sounds super thin. What can we do about this? Well, if we set both of these back to 0, back to the delays back to 0, this is the technique I'm going to be showing you. Either way, where we phase invert, so this is just, if you recorded it, this is the way it would be. Well, that's out of phase, you can hear it. It sounds like it has a chorus on it, or delay. And phase invert, well, it still sounds like shit. What's going on? Either way, these two signals are out of phase, even if they're 180 degrees out of phase. Anybody who clicks a button, listens to it, 180 degrees out of phase, and goes, yep, these are in phase, is an idiot, because that's not how phase cancellation works. To know if something is in phase with each other, go to the point where they are the most, so flip it out of phase, go to the point where they are cancelling each other out the most. And that's right there. And when you flip it back in phase, then it's in phase. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to understand, but like if you go on Desmos and you start playing around with sine waves, put like f of sine x is the expression for a sine wave on Desmos if you want to change the sine waves like amplitude. If you don't and you just want a still sine wave, just put sine x, and that will get that. So that's just a little video. Really is as simple as that, and for some reason people get so confused and they think that phase cancellation only happens when something is 180 degrees out of phase. It doesn't. It's really rare that something is going to be 180 degrees out of phase unless you've made it so, unless you've aligned the two signals. Phase cancellation is literally just delay. That's that. There you go.